Shabbat Shalom. I had decided to talk about joy tonight. It's time. I'm tired of being sad, angry, confused, and afraid. And I thought it would be easy. We're good at joy, especially on Shabbat. And Jews are also good at holding multiple emotions at one time, as we know from wedding ceremonies, when we break a glass, symbolizing grief mingled with joy. We even see the mix of emotions in this week's Torah portion, Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, which actually begins with her death. In our text this week, we read about Abraham's grief at the loss of Sarah and his efforts to buy her a sacred burial plot. Later in the portion, we have two marriages, Isaac and Rebekah, a love match, and Abraham, who takes a second wife, Keturah. And then we conclude our portion with the death of Abraham. And in an unusual but symbolic moment of unity, Isaac and Ishmael together bury their father next to Sarah in the cave of Machpelah. So many emotions all at one time. Just like all of us must be holding so many emotions all at one time. How is that possible? As human beings, we are capable of experiencing moments of joy and grief at the same time, like celebrating the joy of Shabbat while still mourning the brokenness of our world. But here's the thing. We don't have to force the joy. We don't have to force the sadness. Whatever you're feeling right now, regardless of your environment or situation, you need to honor that feeling, experience, feel all the feels. I'll never forget going to see the movie Inside Out after our first year of living in Massachusetts. It was about the importance of feeling what we're feeling, not holding it inside, which only leads to being numb. So I had decided that tonight was finally the time to make a joyful video message. That is, until I had a Zoom meeting with some close colleagues. I didn't realize how unrelenting dealing with Israel had been for them, and I was almost knocked over by their overwhelming sadness and grief. And I thought, maybe it's not yet a time to talk about joy for everyone. But personally, I cannot let myself be monopolized by sorrow. And truthfully, we're all in different emotional places, as I saw with my friends. We never know a person's full story and what that story might lead them to feel. Some of us have family in Israel, and it is excruciating to be far away. Some of us feel connected to Israel, so much so that the conflict has become deeply personal. Some of us think about the hostages and their families, and our hearts stop. Some of us, for the first time ever, feel afraid to be a Jew in America. Some of us are brokenhearted at all the waste, the death of so many innocents, casualties of war. When did death become casual? And some of us have enough solace in our lives that listening to the news about what's happening on the other side of the world is just too much. And some of us do need joy right now. So we're going to a concert or a party or out to dinner with friends to smile and laugh. Each one of us has our own authentic emotions. We can't expect someone to feel the way we do, and although it might be frustrating or even make us angry, we're all in different places. Still, as humans, we are able to hold multiple emotions at one time. It takes practice and patience. So here is my offering and an invitation. I just read an essay by Rabbi Amy Alberg called Loving Kindness in a Time of War. It is long, but very much worth reading, and I'll include the link to the entire article in the e-news. One part in particular moved me. Rabbi Alberg quotes Martin Buber, who once taught, "The wounds of the order of being can be healed in infinitely many other places than those at which they were inflicted." The wounds of the order of being can be healed in infinitely many other places than those at which they were inflicted. And Rabbi Alberg comments on Buber's words and says, I cannot shower the Middle East with droplets of love to make people think, feel, and act differently than they do. But I can bring more loving kindness into my small corner of the world, instead of adding to the cacophony of angry voices all around us. It is an act of faith that the love I spread right there where I live can tip the scales a bit, adding to the weight of the forces of love and peace, even while war rages. So, my invitation, feel all your feels. Know that other people are feeling what they need to feel themselves. And then send out loving kindness, first to yourself, most important, then to your friends and family, then to acquaintances, groups of people you might worry are vulnerable and need protection. Finally, save some loving kindness to send to those people who piss you off, who make you angry. Maybe even send loving kindness to our enemies, like a live wire sizzling out in the universe. If enough of us do it, maybe we can tip the scales so that love and kindness will be the predominant emotion in our world. Shabbat Shalom.